We are praying. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Madam Clerk, could you please take us through the orders of today?
Order paper number 275 of today, Tuesday, 4th March 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 5, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Yes, the Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to lay this following paper. The examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Migossi Sub-County Hospital for the financial years 2021/2022 and 2022/2023. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Chair, Pick Park, Honorable Ken Ouko. Thank you.
Thank you, members. I wish to acknowledge the receipt of the committee report, Public Accounts and Investment Committee report on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of Migossi Sub-County Hospital for the financial year 2021, 2022, and 2022-2023. Next order, Madam Clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Yes, Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to give a notice of motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to give a notice of motion that pursuant to the provisions of orders number 45(1) of the standing orders, that this House adopt a report of Pick Park Committee on the examination of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Migossi Sub-County Hospital for the fiscal years 2021/2022 and 2022/2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order, Madam Clerk.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order, Madam Clerk.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Continuation of debate on the governor's address to the county assembly.
Thank you, honorable members. I think before we continue with the debate, I want to remind you of limitation of debate that was agreed on in this house that gave members 10 minutes for their contribution, and leader of majority or the mover of the motion 15 minutes. And in replying, 20 minutes to the leader of majority party. So honorable members, get guided as we contribute. Again, remember that those who had contributed will not contribute again. So we are focusing on those who have not contributed onto the governor's speech. So let's get guided. Yes, the honorable member for Kubura Ward, Billy Odhiambo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I went through the governor's speech and I was also following very keenly, especially when he was talking about agriculture. And in doing that, I was also comparing with the manifesto that our governor gave us. And clearly, you'll realize from his speech, and if you look at his manifesto, he's very, very passionate about agriculture. And from the speech, you come to realize again that there's something that is amiss. The department is really failing the governor on agriculture. From the governor's speech, he said that agriculture is contributes around 16.6% of the gross county product, and the larger Kisumu county population, around 62% of people at least are engaged in agriculture. But then if you look at how the county government has empowered the population that is in agriculture, then you get so worried. Because clearly we've done a little for our people in Kisumu County. In agriculture, I also want to congratulate them in as much as some areas are not that perfect. There's the Maseno ATC that was built. We have the Papkonam Agriculture Training College that is built in Seme. And I felt they should now start, being that they have constructed all these, they should at least take one institution and focus on one thing, not all the agricultural centers doing nearly the same thing. So they should just specialize so that one institution is known for something, one thing, not everything, so that they can really specialize and give our county quality. Secondly, the governor talked about the supply of fertilizers and seedlings. And I expected from that speech, at least the speech should have contained at least something to show that what was done at least impacted on the lives of people. Because this is just a speech, but there's nothing to show that this particular group was taken as a group that is being monitored or followed to have been given maybe avocado seedlings, and for us to know as a legislative house the big population that is being impacted by the seeds or the fertilizer that was given. For the fertilizer, at least we should have known the people who got the fertilizers, what they planted, at least the normal production that they were giving and what they got from the fertilizers that were given. Mr. Speaker, from the governor's speech, he talked about cotton as being second after sugarcane in Kisumu County, but I don't believe that is the case, because we have rice, and rice production is bigger than cotton now in Kisumu County. To confirm that, from his speech, he also said in the financial year 2023-2024, production was 210 tons, falling short of the expected 960 tons. And this clearly shows that we have not yet embraced cotton as Kisumu County. We need to do more in that area. Talking about poultry, the areas where incubators were given out, but I'm looking at it in the long term. Giving out these incubators. We have institutions like the Masena ATC. We have another in Muhoroni. We should have these institutions built with given very big capacity incubators, so that from these institutions, we can now supply to maybe groups and those people that were given, so that we have a constant thing. We have a sustainable thing that we are doing, not that after some time we'll be getting stories that the incubators that were given out will not be there. At least if we have an institution doing this from within our county, we are sure that from this period to this period, this particular group is going to get this. So I believe that will be more sustainable than what really was done. If you look at the farm mechanization, I don't know who wrote that part specifically, because from the Agriculture Committee, we have machines. There are tractors at Rabur, and we've always talked about them. And it is so unfortunate, in as much as the governor is very passionate about agriculture, this part was very unfortunate, because it talked about the private company, the Hello Tractors. Yet, in the same ward, Kobura, is where we have our tractors, the county tractors. I expected from that speech, especially farm mechanization, the governor should have talked about the machines that we have, the tractors that we have, how are we going to reduce the cost of farming for our people. Maybe if the county government has maybe looked for other investors, so that if farming maybe by using county machines is 4,000, if we get partners, maybe now it can go down to 2,000, because the end game should be introducing many people within our county to agriculture, because we have very vast lands that are not being used. From that same speech, I expected the governor to tell us the machines that we've been giving money to as an assembly for repair and buying new tractors. He should have told us how efficient is that project so far. Because from that speech, we can clearly tell it is very vague. We can't tell how the machines we have are affecting the community or the farmers, and the challenges maybe. Mr. Speaker, those are the concerns I had, and those are the things I picked from that speech. And I really know the passion that the governor has, if it is met, with a good team that is ready to implement his manifesto, I believe in agriculture, we'll be talking about many people in this county, especially the youth, getting into agriculture. Because agriculture is the first thing that you can learn to before you go to other jobs. It is a job itself, but it is something immediately after school one can start with while still maneuvering around. So I believe as a county, our manifesto is good, but we've not really invested greatly to support our people in agriculture. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Member for Central Seme, Mildred Ajumbo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can see Honorable Boyton making some hard face that you've chosen Seme. Mr. Speaker, I also want to add my voice to the governor's speech. And I picked a few areas, Mr. Speaker, on the speech. I looked at the area of roads and energy, transport, roads, and public works. Yes, it is true, much has been done. And he read that during the period, the department opened 42.5 kilometers of roads graded. That is under machine-based programs. And Mr. Speaker, we all know from this assembly that we have invited the Department of Roads to come and shed more light on the machine-based program and the work plan. And that was the last financial years, 2023-2024. A number of roads were opened, Mr. Speaker, including a road in Central Seme, Kamonye, Kombewa Access Road. Up to now, Mr. Speaker, that road has been left the way it is. Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank also the governor for the upgrading of the Nambakapio Bodi Asat Road that is supposed to be completed, the phase 2 of it. We want to thank the county government for the job well done, and we await for the second phase that will cover from Nambakapio all the way to Bao and Asat. I also looked at the governor's speech on water, and a number of boreholes have been sunk, Mr. Speaker, as per the governor's manifesto of 2017, that every household to get access to water. And quite a number of people still do not have access to water. In the year 2023-2024, quite a number of boreholes were dug, Mr. Speaker, and in Central Seme Ward, 2 boreholes were dug, in Abol Primary and Kindu Primary. And because there was no funding for equipping the project, Mr. Speaker, the project has not been completed up to now. But we want to thank the county government, and we hope that one day there'll be funds so that the project can be finished. And on FLOCA projects, Mr. Speaker, we also want to support the governor's speech that the FLOCA funds and the FLOCA projects is aimed at benefiting the local communities. And in the financial year 2023-2024, a number of FLOCA projects were to be done, still to be done this financial year, the ones that were to be done in 2023 and 2024. And in education, we also want to thank His Excellency, the Governor, for the programs of education, especially on the bursaries. Quite a number of students have benefited from the bursaries in the year 2023-2024. And we hope that going forward, Mr. Speaker, the stalemate on the bursary will be improved so that access to bursary, students can access bursaries. Mr. Speaker, I do not want to comment on everything, but I want to thank His Excellency, the Governor. And on the final is his conclusions, he concludes by saying that this House should rightfully lay claim to all our successful development projects and operational initiatives because it has been passing many bills and policies to support our development programs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, the honorable member for Nyalenda A, Honorable Boyton.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to start with the first remarks that our beloved governor made during his address. The governor said that this report is presented for interrogation and scrutiny by the people. And that is exactly what the assembly is doing. We are scrutinizing, interrogating this report and telling the governor exactly what is on the ground. I have gone through this report from page to page, and I've realized that there are some projects that are mentioned in this report, but if you go to the ground, these projects are either incomplete or never even took off. These are the things that I want to talk about, Honorable Speaker. But before that, Honorable Speaker, the governor also told us that through civil society organization and members of the public could walk into his office, and those office of the executive committee members and chief officers or directors to ask questions. In the real sense, is this really possible? Is it possible to get appointment with the governor to ask questions? Honorable Speaker, allow me to start with agriculture. The governor talks about 111 highly experienced extension officers. Where are these extension officers and what are they doing? And since they were recruited, what value have they given to this county in terms of agriculture and production? I realize that these officers have just inflated the wage bill, and yet what they are doing is not giving production to this county. He mentioned that the service delivery has been reduced from an average of one officer to 10,000 farmers. One officer to 10,000 farmers has been reduced to one officer to 3,000 farmers. Yet, these officers are not being seen on the ground trying to help farmers. Our vulnerable farmers are struggling on their way, on their own, to do agriculture. On the same department, Honorable Speaker, the governor mentioned that the Department of Agriculture, with support from Agriculture Food Authority, that is AFA, distributed 2,400 grafted avocados and 9,200 coffee seedlings to farmers in the coffee-grown areas of Upper Nyakachkoru. Whoever sat down and wrote this information to the governor, he ought to have told us, after this distribution, what happens to the grafted avocados and the grafted seedlings, 9,200 coffee seedlings. Are they producing anything? Or is just a story as it is written here? Again, Honorable Speaker, as was mentioned by one of my colleagues, that the governor told us that to step up cotton production. Its government, in collaboration with the National Fiber Crop Directorate, has in the year 2023-2024 taken significant steps. And he mentioned that through this effort, a total of 12 tons of cotton seeds were acquired and distributed. Acquiring 12 tons of seeds. After that, what happened? The author should have told us the production that this 12,000 tons of seed gave in that financial year. Because when the governor came to give the address, it was towards the end of the year, and I knew very clearly that production from these seeds had already been achieved. Honorable Speaker, the same on agriculture, the governor talked about poultry value chain. He mentioned that in the year 2023-2024, that was the year under review, youth groups in Kondele, Manyata B, and Nyalenda A were awarded incubation units. But then I can attest to this. Nyalenda A is mentioned here. But these incubation units are not there. In fact, before this department thought about giving incubation unit, why couldn't they have thought about doing production of eggs? Because why do you buy an incubation unit while the eggs that are supposed to be incubated are not even there in the within the farmers? And are they still functional? A number of them, I believe, have turned into individual properties. And this was also not done in the year under review. This was done in the year 2021-2022. So somebody should be held responsible for giving governor wrong information. This is very interesting, Honorable Speaker. We went to Nyalenda B sometimes back. And the governor also mentioned this, that there is a 250 kilogram production capacity ice flake making machine, which was delivered in Nyalenda B in Donga. There's a time implementation committee visited Donga, and we found this machine had been turned into a certain, it has been turned into a machine that is used to charge motorbikes. That is the truth of the matter. And here we are being told that the machine is producing what? Ice. I'm saying somebody should be held responsible here. That is the truth of the matter. What is written here is far much different from what is on the ground. So we are telling the governor to take stern action against those who gave him this report. Honorable Speaker, in terms of education, I think we are doing well, apart from using 6,150,000 to do administration. That is the bursaries. The bursaries allocation is 205 million, but we are using 6,150,000. This is a little bit on the higher side. Let the money that is meant to.
What is it, Honorable Seth Kanga?
Mr. Speaker, I just want to bring an information in relation to what the Honorable Boyton Okech, the MC of Nyalenda A, is alluding to. Mr. Speaker, he has alluded to the fact that the machine was delivered in Nyalenda B. that is represented by Honorable James Were is being used to charge motorbikes. I believe batteries. Mr. Speaker, as an assembly, we have the powers to oversight and to summon the persons in charge, because I believe the governor is not in charge of this. The governor said that the machine was delivered. Now it's upon the assembly, and I believe through the committee chaired by whoever is supposed to chair that committee, to summon those people and necessary action taken against them through committee resolutions under this assembly, rather than blame the governor. Because the governor was given information that machine was delivered. Now it's not upon the governor to make sure that that machine is used for the purpose it was delivered to. It's upon this honorable house, in fact, through the Honorable James Were, who is just sitting in this assembly, and the Honorable Boyton Okech is giving a very crucial information to this honorable house, Mr. Speaker, that the intended purpose of which that machine was delivered is not being used. So now it's upon the assembly, rather than talk about issue, why don't the assembly take necessary actions?
Thank you.
Boyton Okech is the chair of planning, and whoever is supposed to take that action should take action against such officers, not necessarily passing that blame to the governor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Seth. We get your information. I think that's one of the reasons why we debate on the governor's speech, so that we agree with what he has said. We also poke holes on where we think there are gaps, and then we take actions after that. So allow the Honorable Member for Nyalenda A to continue with this submission.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker.
And Honorable Member, you know, I had mentioned that we only take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think you have taken
6 minutes. 6 minutes.
Honorable Member, I think I have time here with me too. And I think you've taken more than 10 minutes. So I want to give you an additional 2 minutes to summarize.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me just go through very fast in the next 2 minutes that you have given me. The community hall under social services that was done in Nyalenda A has been mentioned to be complete, and was done what we call stone fencing. This was not done. What was done is chain link type of fencing. We are here to tell the governor what is actually happening on the ground. We are not blaming the governor. And in the document, it is written that it was stone fence and completed. Again, Honorable Speaker, we are urging the county government of Kisumu to come up with the same Marwa system that we had sometimes back to help our community or our people in terms of health issues. Times we know very well that we had Marwa, and Marwa was really servicing our people. At the moment we have the Shah has issues. I believe the county government will come up with the same kind of system so that we assist our patients. In regard to that, again, Honorable Speaker, we've also realized that the US government has withdrawn the support that it had been given. And the governor told us that Kisumu County has a high disease burden comprising a high prevalence of HIV and high incidence of malaria. Now that the US government has withdrawn the support, how is the county government going to take care of the HIV patients? This is also very crucial, and I wish something better be done in regards to that. Last but not least, Honorable Speaker, there were projects under Department of Water where they mentioned that these projects were done in Kisumu East, Kisumu West, Muhoroni, Nyakach, Nyando, and some other areas. They say that they are complete and functionable. These projects were done in 33 projects in 6 sub-counties. I wish how members coming from these sub-counties could tell us if these water points are functioning or not functioning, so that service delivery.
Summarized, Honorable Member.
Thank you. Thank you. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the governor for the Governor's Cup that was done. This was a plus, especially to the winning team that came from Nyalenda. 5 individuals were picked from the activities. One called Javan joined Ulinzi Stars, Wycliffe from Nyalenda joined Kisumu All Stars, Glenn joined Kakamega Boys, and Kevin also joined Kisumu All Star. This was a plus. I think the Governor's Cup was a plus. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, talking about own source revenue, we have a very big issue here. Our county is not doing well. If Nairobi is doing 12.5 million, Mombasa 5.5 billion, Narok 4.7 billion, Kiambu 4.5 billion, Nakuru 3.3 billion, Machakos 1.5, and Kisumu is doing 1.5. Actually, this is not right. The governor should strike a whip and put this board in order so that we get maximum own source revenue. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Member for Migosi, the Honorable Pamela Yo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to add my voice as per the governor's speech. I want to say the governor's speech is a summary of what the county has done and what the county intends to do through the administration of the governor. In the governor's speech, the governor was quite passionate about ECD, which is the foundation upon which the formation and the future of our children lies. And through ECD and through Department of Education, the governor has really tried to ensure most of our schools have an ECD section. Nearly all of our schools within the county has an ECD section, and teachers are also employed to ensure we give the children the skills they need at that early age. In terms of VCT, the county government of Kisumu has really tried, especially at Rotary. From my ward, I've taken about over 300 students to Rotary this year. And the governor is very passionate about this kind of program. The program is really helping the young people who are in the society. They are engaged and they are given skills that they can use to be employed or to make life better for themselves by working for themselves. It is a plus for the governor because at Rotary, students go to Rotary, and each ward is given a form. Through the bursary, they learn the entire time of their education at Rotary, and they get the skills which can help them to better their life. I think that is a good plus for Kisumu County. And in terms of health, I want to say we have achieved a milestone in health. And lately, Jaramogi has been designated as a semi-autonomous referral hospital. And I want to say this is a plus for the governor because in many counties, they have not reached that level, except for Eldoret, Nairobi, and Nakuru, and Kisumu is coming forth. I want to say the governor has worked hard in terms of health by providing resources through the County Assembly of Kisumu, and now Jaramogi is able to be self-governing is a self-governing and a performing entity. I want to say again through water, through the governor's address, I've seen 33 projects in different wards, which have been offered through water. There's also FLOCA, that is in every ward in this financial year. I think if all these are implemented, Kisumu will move to another level. And I want to congratulate the governor for working hard, because most of our wards, all our wards, this year have a project from FLOCA. And most of the wards will be self-sufficient in terms of water. I want to say nobody is complaining in this house that they don't have a FLOCA project. I want to say that is a plus for our governor, and I want to congratulate him. And the governor's address, through the governor's address, I've realized we have a digital information system in terms of health. You are able to get information from any end of the county in terms of health. We are able to share information digitally, and that is very healthy for the society of this county. You are able to find help from any hospital from wherever you are. You can share information and seek information from a different hospital from where you are. This is very positive, and if we continue like this and support the governor, I think we will do much better than other counties. I want to say thank you. I want to say the governor is doing well, and we congratulate him for work well done. Thank you.
Yes, Chief Whip, the Honorable Seth Kanga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, mine will be very brief because all the issues, I believe, have been addressed by my colleagues, the honorable members. Mr. Speaker, the governor's speech was tremendous. But, Mr. Speaker, there are challenges which I need to highlight going forward. Mr. Speaker, on the areas of agriculture, that's where I want to talk about. The governor talked about certified seeds, especially maize seeds. And you will find that when the department is seeking procurement for the maize seeds and fertilizers, they seek for the same seeds that is planted in Seme, that is planted in Nyaera and Maseno areas, you will find is what is distributed in Kano. Mr. Speaker, these people should be specific, because you cannot plant the maize seed that is planted in Nyaera and Maseno areas and you are going to dispute those maize seeds in Miwani area where Honorable Waridu comes from. Mr. Speaker, this issue should be addressed by the extension officers, whom I'm happy that the county government, through donor funds, purchased each and every extension officer now has a motorbike. And they should get feedback from respective wards on the specific seeds which should be planted in various sub-counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think that one also does with the fertilizers, because the same fertilizer that is used in the highland areas cannot be used in the lowland areas, depending on the seeds that are planted on this area. Another issue I want to talk about, Mr. Speaker, going by experience in the subsequent financial years. Mr. Speaker, the issue of road network in Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, as we are talking right now, soon 2-3 weeks will be approaching long rates. Mr. Speaker, the contractors in some areas have not moved on site. We are urging them, going by the governor's speech and the experience, to move on site before the commencement of the long rains. And Mr. Speaker, you'll find that some contractors will be moving to the roads during the long rains. And as a result, the honorable members representing various wards will be having tough times to answer questions during such times. And Mr. Speaker, I think the governor did some changes in its governance by reshuffling the cabinet and appointing some to handle various dockets. And in his statement, he said that he was doing that transfer or that change in the cabinet to enhance service delivery. It is now the right time, going by the past experience, that we urge the newly appointed cabinet ministers or the newly reserved cabinet ministers to ensure that they implement budgets of the county government based on the past experiences. Because, Mr. Speaker, these challenges, we have had them in the 7 years of Professor Peter Nyang'nyong'o's tenure as the governor. So it's now high time that the cabinet uses this past experience to fix the county government in various sectors which has been addressed by my colleague. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I support the governor's speech and I urge the honorable members to pass it, but the county government of Kisumu should use the past experience so that we fix the county government. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the issue of health has been addressed. But there's something, the new changes, which is, I believe, is SHA or SHE. Although some of our colleagues in Azimi or ODM are really pressing it. But, Mr. Speaker, as a member of County Assembly representing Market Mlimani Ward, and as a member who comes from the city, I frequent these hospitals, Mr. Speaker. Our residents have challenges in the issue of SHA and SHE. And I urge the national government, because the county government cannot implement the health issues without the government, the national government. So if this insurance issue is not handled properly, Mr. Speaker, there will be no efficient service delivery as far as health is concerned. So I urge the national government to fix this SHA issue once and for all, so that our residents, not only in Kisumu County, but also in other counties. Otherwise, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Vincent Jagongo of Northwest Kisumu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to contribute to the governor's speech, and I want to tie myself to the health department. Mr. Speaker, first, I want to applaud the governor and the county government of Kisumu for the partnership between the county government of Kisumu and the international investor, that is the Medaditas, in building a pharmaceutical company in Kibos that will help us manufacture medicine or drugs that can help our people. I think this one will help us reduce the amount of money that we use to import or to purchase medicine outside Kisumu County. So this is a plus to the governor, and let's hope that the partnership will continue so that we get medicine closer to our people. So, Mr. Speaker, a year ago, in the same governor's speech, there was an agreement that the governor was to do medical theaters in the 7 sub-county hospitals within Kisumu County. And I'm happy that 4 of those hospitals have theater as we speak. And Kisumu East, that is Gita Hospital, is yet to be completed. Kisumu West, that is Chulaimbo Hospital, theater is yet to be completed. I would want to urge the governor maybe to just move with the speed and ensure that these theaters are completed, because if you want to decongest our level 5 hospital, we need these theaters close to our people. assuming that a mother comes to a hospital to give birth and maybe the process does not go well and needs to be referred to another level of hospital for surgical management, some of them end up dying before reaching the hospital. So we need to have these medical theaters in place. It is long overdue that we have them in place so that we can support our people when it comes to cesarean sections. Mr. Speaker, I also want to echo what my colleagues have talked about in terms of the issue of donor funding in the health department. We all know that this donor funding is no longer going to be submitted to us, and we need to find a way, a mechanism on how to support the medical staff that were employed by these NGOs. And as we speak, the HIV care, TB care, malaria care that was being supported by this donor fund is no longer there. And most of the patients that were being seen at CCC are now being transferred to the outpatient department. If you go to Lumumba, they are seen at outpatient department. If you go to KCH, they are also seen at outpatient department. And this and any other hospital that were seeing them as special cases. So the HIV clients are now being seen as not ordinary patients. The TB clients are being seen as ordinary patients, and also those who are getting malaria treatment. And this has subjected the hospitals to understaffing, because the burden that was being felt by the NGO now subjected to the county government staff. It's high time that as a county you must look forward in how to employ more staffs, because there will be a burnout to this medical staff. They will not be able to see that number of patients. If you go to Lumumba, for example, where they used to see, on CCC, they used to see like 200 patients in a day. And when you go to outpatient, as we speak, there are only 2 clinicians. And 2 clinicians, we may not be able to see more than 100 patients in a day on HIV care and the normal routine care for other patients. So I think we need to come up with the mechanism as a county on how to employ this medical staff that were laid off, so that they can still continue supporting us in helping our people. Because if that does not happen, it means we are going to lose so many patients who are on HIV care, because they may not get the special care that they used to get when you are getting support from the donor partners. Otherwise, I support the report, and I believe we'll work together as a team to ensure that Kisumu County goes on. Thank you.
Honorable Dari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me join my colleagues who have spoken earlier. Mr. Speaker, I will start by saying that those who wrote this, or the author of this book, made a very big mistake by deceiving the governor. Whatever has been written here, on the ground, they cannot be seen. Mr. Speaker, in the department, let me start with the Department of Education. The Department of Education, Mr. Speaker, for last year, we were told to bring at least two pupils to join Marine School, which never happened. But in this book,
Honorable Dari, did you say 2 pupils?
2 students, sorry, 2 students. That is on page 10. Number two, we are being told that there were 70 students, 35 boys, and 35 girls benefited from the Marine Study Scholarship amounting 1,934,050. Mr. Speaker, they never attended to. Up to now, they have not been called to go to marine study. So I am kindly requesting the department if they can allocate those monies so that we can give them to other students. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, this is now the 7th year of our governor in the office, but you'll find that the Department of Education has constructed only 31 ECD in Kisumu County. But in other counties, Mr. Speaker, for example, in Kiambu, you'll find that the county government of Kiambu has constructed 134 ECDs in the year 2023-2024, and soon they will construct PP1 and PP2 at around 130 classrooms. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the Department of the special program led by I don't know his name, but they are saying that they are doing a wonderful job, but nothing they are doing in that office. Mr. Speaker, I want to report to you because last year there was a fire in Kupere. For the last 2 years, the Kupere market has experienced a lot of challenges in terms of fire. But I did a letter to them. They never responded. They never went there. But they are busy in the office. We have no problem with that. Let them continue. Another department, Mr. Speaker, the Department of Energy, they are telling us that they have put in place, they have installed 14 number. That is 15 meters high mass flood sub-county. That is Nyando. They are saying they have installed 3, Nyakach 1, Muhoroni 1, Seme, Kisumu. But the truth of the matter, these floodlights, they are not functioning, they are dead. Even here in Nyamasaria, if you go there in the evening, a floodlight is not functioning. Then, lastly, Mr. Speaker, is the revenue collection. We're being told that 1.5 billion in the year 2023-2024 financial year, but the department has not told us that last year that we had a challenge. The county government lost a lot of money recently, but they have not told us how much they lost. Then the last part of it, Mr. Speaker, that next time, if we are having this such kind of address, I would like if it can be brought to the assembly here, rather than being taken to Tom Boya, and a quite number of people are coming, and there is no enough food so that people can eat. Even the Weshimiwas, some of us were not able to eat. There was not enough food. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Seth Kang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the provision of food is not provided in our standing order. According to the standing orders we have with them, because the Honorable Odari has talked about provision of food, but he should talk within the confines of the standing orders, Mr. Speaker. I believe so.
Thank you,
That
Honorable.
we are not seen to be representing the interests of the residents of Kisumu County rather than talking the interests of our stomachs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Allow me to also help them. That governor happens on an assembly day just like this one. And even when we go to any other place, apart from here, it has to be a gazetted assembly. It's a normal assembly day. And if we don't get food here today, we don't expect food on that day. And if it comes, it just comes as an added advantage from a well-wisher like the very charitable and Ochola, Honorable Ochola. So if you get food on any day in this assembly, just know one of the members has decided to provide it for you. The reason why we go to Tom Mboya or any other big place is to allow the public to have a much bigger place where they can also listen to the speech by the governor, because you can see our public gallery is very small and can accommodate very few people. Yes, the Honorable Zach Okoyo.
Thank you.
But I believe, what do you want to say?
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to echo what my colleague, Honorable Dari has just said.
Order,
Mr. Speaker,
order, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, let me just one minute.
Order, honorable member.
I want to put some facts straight.
That's why you asked me for permission, and I've said you first resume your seat. Thank you, honorable members. We are not discussing Honorable Dari's speech. We are discussing the governor's speech. We have given direction. Let me first finish with the Honorable Dari's point of order. I thought you wanted to submit, and I was just checking the list you had submitted, and he did not stand on a point of order. And I was wondering why he was standing. That's why I've told him to resume your seat. So what's your point of order, the honorable member for Korea Central?
Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order first?
Mr. Speaker, I know you want to challenge me, but avoid using that book, Mr. Speaker. What I wanted to say,
Mr. Honorable Member, you are standing on a point of order.
Mr. Speaker.
So on a point of order, we go to the orders of the assembly, which are provided.
I just wanted to clarify a fact here.
Under which standing order?
Mr. Speaker, I wish I had mine, or you can lend me that one so that I give you. I'm not sure.
So for now, I'll bring for you the standing order. Just resume your seat. Then once you get the standing order in which you want to speak, I will allow you, honorable member.
Very fast, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you.
So that
Agenda time, please assist the honorable member. Honorable members, we are debating on the governor's speech. Going by the list I'm having here, it seems all the members who are in this house had contributed. And because this is the last day for conclusion of the speech, I think as the honorable member is still looking for the standing order because it might be unrelated. What is it, the Honorable Nancy Motara?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I haven't talked, but most of the things have been mentioned, but I wanted just to clarify on something also what Honorable Boyton said. Though I want to also contribute on the governor's speech, which was a successful to me, yes. But what I wanted to give a plus is on where the cultural sites I want to be established in each and every constituency. That's a plus. But what the honorable member was talking about, it was about the talent search, but it wasn't on the governor's cap. To me, what is successful to the executive might not be successful to us. And even as I'm standing here, I know the governor's cap was not so successful to honorable members. And going forward, I will ask the department to work in hand in hand with the honorable members for better achievement. Last but not least, but I want to talk about that there was a FESTAC event which happened in our county, but I didn't see it on governor's speech, which I think was something also we could have known the advantage and the importance of it, but I didn't see it captured in governor's speech. Thank you so much.
To guide you. I think when we are discussing the governor's speech, you discuss what the governor said. You don't bring things that he did not say. He did not talk about a road in my ward. He did not talk about maybe the kids in my ward who are on bursary. Yes, you focus on what the governor said on that particular day and we make recommendations. Yes, the Honorable, before I give to the majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, I want to raise my point of order under 82, but allow me to use 89 for that reason, Mr. Speaker, so that I can...
So which standing order will I be using to make
now
my...
89.
Okay, which is statement...
Where 89 is trying to talk about responsibility for statement of fact.
Proceed, Honorable Member.
Mr. Speaker...
Who is unfactual?
Mr. Speaker, I listened well to what Honorable Odari Adonija said, and I think he was so bitter and he ended up mentioning even other places like my ward in his presentation, which was okay because he's a resident of my ward and I represent him. And anything that he does in the assembly is looking at my leadership, if I can always do the right thing so that he live well in my ward. But, Mr. Speaker, there's only one part that I also wanted to agree with him, although not well put, Mr. Speaker. Under what he was talking about...
Order, remember. I'll not allow you to contribute.
I'm not contributing.
Yes,
I'm talking about Honorable Odari.
I think
I wanted him to clear...
Would you please standing order number 89? Just read it for yourself.
I've read it. That's why I'm standing.
Maybe for the honorable members to understand.
Okay, a member shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts which the member alleges to be true, and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly.
So who do you want to substantiate a fact?
Honorable Odari.
So which fact do you want Honorable Odari to substantiate?
That's what I'm heading to. You want to see me to debate, Mr. Speaker? Just give me 1 minute.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, on the issue of lunch that he spoke about, the honorable member was looking at the participants who were invited from every place within the county to assemble at Tom Mboya. By the time they were leaving, they came for governor's speech, but members had to chip in to assist out of that embarrassment. So for him to bring such an issue, I think he should even explain it further so that members understand that whatever happened on that 13th day of December 2024 was totally not good after those who invited these people failed to see on how these people are to travel back and on the issue of land. So, Mr. Speaker, in support of his speech, I want him to come out and further bring his point well so that you understand why we think that it should happen here at the assembly rather than the gazetted place, Mr. Speaker.
You know you are a ranking member, Honorable Kelvin Oraro. And I know you understand yourself. You cannot put somebody to task to explain a fact that you agree with them on. I think you tend to agree with Honorable Dari on that fact. So you can't put him to again explain on something that you have agreed with him on. Then it's no longer under statement of facts. Because if it's statement of fact, then you should have disagreed with him, that he has said something that to you is not true. Then he clarifies if it's true or not. But when you agree with him, I remember, you know, we don't want to abuse the standing order. I know you wanted to sneak in to contribute because you had contributed, but I think we can rest it at that, honorable member. I understand. Honorable member, up to that point, because we've had submissions from almost everyone, I want to ask the majority leader to reply and also contribute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to start by thanking the Honorable Nereo Kombo, representing Manyata B, for moving the motion on my behalf, and also to thank all the members for their contribution. Honorable Speaker, before I make my remarks, maybe for future ruling, I would want to know if a member staying in another ward with his family